I mean, I've always been interested about theories of the universe, outer space, things like that. I don't think that I ever thought when I was growing up that I would be one to come up with something unique and innovative and something that nobody else would have thought of. I don't believe that I ever was of that mindset. However, I was thinking about how does gravity emanate from a black hole? That's certainly one of the most interesting topics. I was thinking about that actually late 1978, and then about February 1979, the basic ideas of the comedy recycling theory came to me, at least that gravity was curvature based, that it was, if you look at curvature, it's more or less a shape or a bending or a distortion of space, but it doesn't involve radiation, it doesn't involve particles, it doesn't involve releasing any energy, but it's merely like stretching or twisting a rubber band or taking like a rope or something and twisting it up into loops or twisting it more tightly. It's similar to if you stand on a trampoline and you were to press down on it very hard and try to change the shape of it. That's more or less what curvature does to matter, that it changes the energy capacity of matter, it changes the way matter handles energy, it changes how much energy matter can hold, how much energy matter can contain, how much energy matter can store or resonate with. Kind of like if I had two metal plates with a sponge in between and I would adjust the thickness of the metal plates, that would adjust the capacity of the sponge. Well, in the same way, that's how the comedy recycling theory came to understand that curvature actually changes the energy carrying or energy containing capacity of matter, and that's what actually produces the effect of gravity. When matter goes from lesser curvature into greater curvature, that causes the time frame of matter to slow down. That the more intense the curvature is, the slower the time frame becomes, which means the less energy matter can actually contain. It's like taking that sponge, or taking the two metal plates with the sponge in between and pressing them ever so slightly so that some of that capacity of the sponge must leak out, must go elsewhere, and that's in essence where the energy comes from to produce the acceleration of gravity. That's what actually produces that energy release, that it's the effect of curvature on matter that causes the effect we know as gravity, rather than gravity itself, which then produces the effect of curvature, which we happen to notice as a more or less aftersight. The comedy recycling theory hypothesis, the unique part of the comedy recycling theory, was the realization that curvature is much more fundamental to understanding of gravity, that if you understand how curvature produces that energy change in matter, and that the effect of that energy being released from matter, which is actually what causes the acceleration. That's what, when I let a ball drop, that's what actually causes the ball to accelerate, is the energy is coming from the ball, and where it goes into that's what produces the acceleration that we know of as gravity. It's not a direct cause, that gravity is not causing the ball to fall, rather it's when I release the ball, curvature tells the ball, why don't you go to a lesser energy state? I've got a place you can spend a little bit less time, you can relax a little bit, you can let off some energy, you can go to a place that's more comfortable for you, and that's what causes the ball to fall down. The more the ball falls, the more energy that it releases. That energy is what produces the acceleration that we measure as gravity. But never is gravity the actual, it's not as much the cause of it as an after effect. It's the curvature is the actual, that's what produces the change, and then the gravity, the acceleration of gravity, is it's from the effect of curvature on matter, not the other way around. If you understand it that way, there's a lot of great benefits that accrue to that, including the idea, how does gravity emanate from a black hole? Why is there gravity outside of a black hole? That was my original question that I had back in 1979. That was the one question that I wanted to know the answer. Why does gravity escape from a black hole, or why is there gravity outside of a black hole if light cannot make it out of a black hole? Why is it that gravity can come out from a black hole, but that light cannot do so, or electromagnetic energy cannot do so? Now, conventional theory says that electrical charge can come out of a black hole, that how much electrical charge the black hole has at its center can leak out, and that is known on the outside. The comedy recycling theory says that's completely bogus. That does not happen, that there's no possible way of knowing on the outside of the black hole how much electrical charge is stored up inside the Schwarzschild radius. That would be the outer measure, the outer limit of the black hole. What conventional theory sometimes also calls the event horizon, but for a variety of reasons, the comedy recycling theory does not like to use the term event horizon. That will be another segment later on, possibly even later today. I'll film that segment. But if you go by the event horizon concept and you try to understand how things keep slowing down as you get closer to the black hole, you'll be hopelessly muddied up in your thinking of how the black hole actually works, which is one of the reasons the comedy recycling theory does not use the term event horizon, does not recommend you studying the term event horizon, and tries to avoid it in almost every instance. That it will mislead your thinking severely, it will misguide you, it will give you wrong ideas. So rather than try to use the term and straighten everything out, it's better to avoid it completely and not use that concept.